Imagine the sky over Kiev darkening, not from storm clouds, but from the ominous silhouette of a missile streaking across the horizon. A single flash, brighter than the sun, engulfs the city. Millions are forced to confront a terrifying reality. What if Vladimir Putin actually used a nuclear weapon in Ukraine? How would the world respond? And could any strategy contain the catastrophic fallout? The stakes are unimaginable. Russia, with its vast nuclear arsenal, faces off against a Ukraine bolstered by Western intelligence, precision weapons, and a steadfast population refusing to surrender. NATO looms in the background, a specter of collective defense, ready to react but restrained by the fear of escalation. Ukraine's cities, densely populated and heavily industrialized, form a dangerous theater. In a single strike, decades of infrastructure, human life, and economic stability could vanish. But this is not just a story of cities and armies. This is a story of modern warfare on the edge of the unthinkable. Russia has developed tactical nuclear weapons specifically for battlefield use, smaller, precise, and ostensibly controlled. Yet control in a nuclear context is a fragile illusion. How would a nuclear detonation on Ukrainian soil shift the balance of power? Would conventional forces be able to exploit the chaos, or would the world descend into strategic paralysis? The first phase begins quietly, almost deceptively so. Russian forces, having massed along key supply lines, advance under the cover of electronic warfare. Precision artillery hammers Ukrainian defenses, but something new lurks in the arsenal. A tactical nuke is deployed, not a city-busting megaton device, but a weapon powerful enough to obliterate a divisional headquarters, a command hub, or a fortified airfield. The explosion is surgical, a shockwave radiating over kilometers. The immediate impact is devastation. Command networks are severed, morale collapses, and survivors are thrown into chaos. Yet the military landscape is complicated. Ukraine's forces, trained in asymmetric warfare, adapt quickly. Mobile artillery units relocate, drone swarms scout and disrupt, and civilian resilience adds a new layer of unpredictability. The nuclear strike achieves its tactical goal, but the psychological consequences are immediate. International leaders convene emergency sessions, NATO intelligence scrambles, sanctions tighten, and military aid accelerates. But here lies the first question. Can nuclear fear truly dictate the battlefield, or does it provoke more audacious resistance? By the second phase, escalation becomes inevitable. Russia, emboldened by the initial strike, considers follow-up targets. Ukrainian cities are fortified, but the nuclear threat looms. The terrain itself, the rivers, forests, and urban sprawls, becomes a deadly chessboard. Russian strategy relies on speed, aiming to prevent Ukrainian forces from reorganizing, but every maneuver now carries global attention. Satellite imagery beams real-time devastation to the world, ensuring that every nuclear decision is scrutinized. Then, everything changes. Allies begin to respond in ways no one could fully anticipate. NATO units might deploy advanced missile defense systems, not directly against Russia, but to protect allied nations and deter further escalation. Cyber attacks cripple supply chains and communications. The battlefield, once a simple front line, morphs into a multi-dimensional conflict, spanning air, land, sea, and cyberspace. And yet, the ultimate variable remains the human factor: panic, miscalculation, and the fragile chain of command in the face of nuclear catastrophe.
But what if Russia miscalculates? A misfired or misjudged tactical nuclear strike could trigger retaliation not just from Ukraine, but from NATO itself. The doctrine of proportional response means that the world's most advanced militaries are ready to act decisively. Cities across Eastern Europe might be evacuated, military assets repositioned, and global markets thrown into turmoil. Could containment even be possible once the nuclear threshold is crossed? As the dust settles, literally and figuratively, the scenario crystallizes into a grim reality. A single nuclear strike does not guarantee victory. It might weaken one side, but it also galvanizes the other, invites international condemnation, and risks escalation to a level no one truly wants. Ukraine's resilience, coupled with the potential for rapid global intervention, could blunt the intended effect. The battlefield becomes a mirror of strategic psychology, where fear and resolve clash with deadly precision. And yet, the lesson is chilling. Nuclear weapons are no longer hypothetical threats. They are tools of strategy, deterrence, and terror, their use capable of rewriting the rules of engagement overnight.
The world watches, breath held, as leaders weigh the unthinkable against the possible. Could diplomacy survive a strike like this? Could humanity contain itself in the shadow of immediate annihilation? In the end, a nuclear attack in Ukraine is both a tactical gamble and a moral abyss. History suggests that the first use of a nuclear weapon in conflict reshapes international norms forever, creating new doctrines and redefining what is acceptable in warfare. Yet, the unpredictability of human decision-making, technological failure, and the sheer randomness of survival may turn the scenario into something no strategist can fully anticipate. So we are left with a question that haunts every map, every missile silo, every war room. If one strike can ignite a chain reaction of global consequences, who, in the end, truly controls the battlefield? And is there any control at all?